Hello everyone and welcome back to the Workbench. Today I'm going to be bringing you my review of the Kahr CW9 handgun. Before we get started, of course this firearm is unloaded, nothing in the chamber, nothing in the magazine well, no ammunition in the magazine, no ammunition present on the workbench. This firearm retails for $449 MSRP. You can find it as low as $325 with the average price being right around $3.50 as of October 2015. This is a semi-automatic striker-fired pistol, and it is, as you can see, a compact pistol. It is chambered in 9x19 Luger, 9mm, and the average cost of ammunition for that round is 27 cents a round for the Winchester White Box and around 79 cents a round for Hornady Critical Defense. The frame is made from black polymer, and the slide is from a brushed stainless steel. Both of them have a matte finish. Weight of the unloaded gun, as you see it right now, is 16.75 ounces, and the weight of the empty magazine is 1.85 ounces, giving them a total of 18.6 ounces together. The weight of a full magazine with those Hornady Critical Defense 115 grain FTX rounds is 4.7 ounces, and really the weight that matters is a fully loaded gun plus one in the chamber, and that comes in at 21.85 ounces. The overall length of the gun, as measured from the muzzle to the back of the frame here, is 6.13 inches. The overall height of the gun, which is measured from the top of the sights to the bottom of the magazine when it is inserted, is 4.94 inches. The overall width of the slide and of the grip are both 0.94 inches. So as you can see, just slightly under an inch on both of those. Widest part of the gun is 1.13 inches, and that is actually the slide stop, as you can see here. The barrel length is 3.57 inches, the magazine capacity is 7, and the trigger pull is about 5.5 pounds. The trigger type is double action only. Sights are a white dot pinned front sight and a white bar windage adjustable rear. The front sight is made from polymer and the rear sight is made from metal. There are no external safeties on this firearm. The only safety that is offered is a passive striker block safety on the internal. Intended purpose for this firearm is concealment, personal defense, and home defense. Really and truly, I don't consider this to be a range gun. It wasn't intended for that, but it could absolutely be a range gun for you if that's what you wanted. 7-round capacity in the magazine isn't always the best for a range gun. Unique features, really, aggressive texturing on the grip here. Kahr is known for their aggressive texturing. Options from the manufacturer and aftermarket. There are many different colors available for this firearm, pinks, purples, etc. They offer ported barrels. There, of course, are sight upgrades, and while this guide rod is metal, you can opt for a stainless steel guide rod. Accessories. Really and truly, this firearm is the same size as their P9, their more expensive version, and really anything that will fit a P9 will fit the CW9. Firing test comments. Really, my opinions on this from shooting it. This firearm, it's got two really good things going for it. I think the two greatest attributes are the trigger. It is very smooth, it's consistent, and it's really not bad. At 5.5 pounds for a defensive firearm, it's really not bad. It surely doesn't feel like 5.5 pounds or like other 5.5 pound triggers. And also the overall weight. The overall weight of this gun fully loaded is 21.85 ounces. It really and truly is a rather lightweight firearm. That tends to be because of the polymer frame, but also because it's only a 7+1 capacity. Handling the gun, it actually feels pretty natural. It does have a more upright grip angle than most handguns nowadays, and with that combined with the aggressive texturing on the grip, it gives you a really good purchase on the firearm. It just feels good in the hand, And when you bring it up to your eye, there's very little minor adjustments needed. I also really like on this firearm that I can get my pinky on it without the magazine in. I don't need to get a magazine, a different base plate for the magazine to allow for my pinky to get a good purchase. When you insert this magazine, it kind of naturally creates that for you, and it really is just very comfortable to get your full hand on the firearm. I don't necessarily like the aesthetics of this magazine, you know, not being fully flush mount like most others, but I get that. I think I prefer the comfort of a grip rather than the aesthetics of how it looks. So let's break this firearm apart for like a field strip here real quick, and I'll show you how that's done. It can be very difficult. As you can see, of course, it's unloaded, as I've already shown you. What you want to do is you want to line up the notch on the frame with the corresponding notch on the slide. So you're just going to get a decent grip on the firearm, pull it back so those two line up, and then on the other side you want to push on the takedown pin, which is also the slide stop. You want to push that through. That can be extremely difficult. So usually what I like to do is I like to, with my left hand, start to push on it before I even pull the slide back, because it doesn't always pop right at that point. But there it is, and that's all you're going to get. It's going to pop out that far, and then you got to pry it out the rest of the way. Usually I'll fiddle the slide back and forth. There it is. And then when it comes forward, pull the trigger, and it comes apart. You have a single spring for your recapture spring. It's not a dual capture spring, it's just a single capture spring with a metal guide rod, always a bonus over the polymer ones. The barrel, like I said, is 3.57 inches, chambered in 9mm, of course. And I don't know if you can see down the barrel there, maybe you see the rifling a little bit. It doesn't have the P9 rifling in this barrel. It's got standard rifling, which is part of the reason why it doesn't cost what a P9 costs. Again, this one, you can find them for about $3.50 brand new. So we'll go ahead and put this all back together. One thing I noticed when I put this back together, as you can see the end of this spring here, it's not flat like others, and it hangs off the guide rod. So putting it back together can be tricky, but usually what I do is I take this end and I put it toward the top of the slide, so down if you're looking at it this way. That way it doesn't protrude out the front. Sometimes you'll get the spring that'll pop right out the front there. So I put that side down, and then you have to really make sure that this guide rod goes through that spring while keeping it under tension without it springing back off. So it can be tricky, but it is definitely doable. That's it. And then putting it back together, you want to make sure, here, I'll show you here if I can. You can see through the hole in the frame right now. But as I move it back, what you'll see is you'll see that barrel come into play and block that hole. That's not what you want. You want to see daylight. So what I like to do is I like to try to get this inserted first before I start moving the slide, and then I just slide it back while keeping pressure downward, and it falls right into place usually. There it is. And then, of course, function test. So, while I think the trigger is one of the best attributes of this firearm, some also do not like the reset of this trigger, and I'll show you why. The trigger is very consistent all the way through. It's a very smooth pull. At only 5.5 pounds, it doesn't feel like it, I promise you. It's very smooth, easy to stay on target. It breaks clean, but the reset is all the way back out here. It's audible, it's haptic, you can feel it reset, but it literally is all the way back out. So There. Now, because that trigger is so good, the accuracy of this firearm I find to be very well. I am no marksman by any means, but with this firearm and the cheapest ammunition I could find, my grouping at 10 yards, relatively slow fire, was 3.375 inches from center to center. Really and truly, that's not bad. I think for a defensive pistol at 30 feet, this is fairly decent. I mean, 3.375, my palm really can cover all those shots. For self-defense purposes, this is very acceptable accuracy. If I had any critiques of this firearm, it would be that it's only a 7-round capacity. Beyond that, I really can't find anything. It's slim. It's extremely lightweight for the other firearms in this class, and that trigger is just very, very good. I can't say enough good things about the Kahr triggers, really in all their firearms, because they're identical from here to the 380 to the 45. It's all the same trigger. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you have any other comments or anything else you'd like to see or hear about this firearm, please feel free to let me know, and I will do my best to get you that information. Again, thank you for watching. I will talk to you all again very soon.